Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I'm Bob from Creation Station. This is our weekly show where we give you 3 or 4 interesting tech topics, science, cool stuff in the news, and get you on your way in about 20 minutes. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all those things that I never tell you to do about a podcast. If there's a story you want us to cover, Creation Station at Broward.org comes right to me. I have Miss Autumn Deck today. Thank you so much. It is an excellent thing to have a catch up on Boxing Day. See, I'm paying attention.
This is why we should have today off. Well, I mean, you do, but
kind of.
I'm at work.
Yeah, we're all working. I know.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be, but whatever.
But whatever. So, tell them who you are because you're going to be our.
I don't know by now.
Well, you're our featured last guest of the old style of show, and the new style starts because this is the final episode of season 4.
I'm the first guest of the new one. Okay, so my name is Autumn Deck. As you can see, I am not Bob, and I am the community library manager at. That means branch manager, by the way, at the North Lauderdale Library in North Lauderdale, Florida. And we are in the northern part of Broward County, between Southgate and Commercial off of Rock Island Road.
And the people
like this where
and the people in Belgium are like,
I don't know where that is. I don't know where that is, but you can Google it. It's fine.
This is also true.
Google Maps.
It works all over the world.
It does.
And Google Translate to translate to street signs as you're walking through Thailand, and everybody thinks you're a wizard. It's great. So we have some fun stories today. We're going to get you through this. And the first story, I really hope we have some kids listening because bubble butt. So
I was misled by the title that you sent me in the email.
Yeah?
This is not what I thought this was going to be about.
Well, see,
I am very glad it's about turtles. That's all I have to say. I'm just glad it's about turtles. That's it.
All the links are in the show notes, as always, for everybody. So what happens is turtles who are out there swimming around, this is about a green sea turtle, one species. They're actually a fairly rare species. But all sea turtles are affected by this. What happens is as they're eating their small little prey, they're getting krill, doing the little fish and all those things. Unfortunately, we have put a heck of a lot of plastic out there in the ocean. And so they are eating up the nylon nets, the plastic that's miscellaneous out there. And what happens is it causes indigestion and it causes their rears to float as a bubble because they get bubbles caught inside of their intestines that won't get out. And so they start floating at an angle, which makes them very easy to eat for sharks. Not a happy thing. So we should try and stop the plastics out there, right?
Turtle farts.
Exactly. See, I knew you'd go with it. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
So this turtle fart. I mean, yes, we need to help the turtles. That's why we all drink out of paper straws and whatnot. Is that turtle wearing a pair of underwear?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm seeing
3D printed underwear.
Turtle underwear for turtle farts, and it's great. Yeah. It's great. But I actually just pulled it up on my phone. The Sea Turtle Conservancy, their turtle tracker. It's an app you can get at wherever you get your apps, whether it's Android or Apple or whatever, and you can track turtles. And I don't know if Charlotte here is on there, but there are quite a few.
Yeah.
Especially here in Florida, you can find them. I know particularly we're watching during Hurricane Milton, and
there weren't that
turtles don't care. They don't care.
They were just like, okay, well, the hurricane's coming 2 foot down, and okay, let the hurricane go over.
Yeah. They're like whatever. But I mean, she's cute. I like that little.
So the whole essence of this story is why you want your kids to go watch it, because 1, it's funny, and 2, it's a serious science thing, and 3, this is something you can go do yourself in theory. using Creation Station or any 3D printer to go print. And what they do is they add a little bit of weight to help them readjust and float back normal. Now, the problem is you can't just go recapture a turtle every so often in the ocean and add more weight to its butt, because they live like 70 years.
They live a long time, very long time. So, but
if you're going to give one as a Christmas present, remember 70 years.
A turtle?
You know the whole meme about the whole. You haven't seen the whole meme about
I'm sure
giving away a Christmas. Don't give somebody a volcano because it lasts for 500,000 years. Okay, never mind. Bob's lost it, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of lost, yeah. So those.
Oh my god! So sorry.
Isn't that a great segue?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, if you don't live in Florida, you may not know about Sinkhole Alley. Tornado Alley in the central United States and over the plains is really popular, and people know about it and things like that. Lightning Alley down in Brazil, because down there is the spot in the Amazon that gets the most lightning strikes on the planet, other than us.
Other than Sinkhole Alley,
right?
Which is, it's the same thing.
And so what happens here in the Sinkhole Alley is, and here's a little map of it, right across the center of the state is where a lot of the coast region is, and that all of that creates areas where you go, where it sinks down. I'm sorry, subsistence is the correct term. What are you smiling about with this one?
Well, because I've lived in both Tornado Alley and Sinkhole Alley, so is it me? No, it is not me.
It is not you down here, at least. How's that?
But well, no, because we don't get them as much down here.
Yeah, they do, and so this is a significant issue now. Also, because what causes these? Excessive rain.
Imagine that.
Yay! So if you get excessive rain in an area with karst, you get sinkholes. And guess what's happened this year in Florida?
Ton of rain, a couple hurricanes right over that general area.
Right over this same area, 2 hurricanes right over and dumped tons of rain.
I mean, yes. I mean, sort of.
If you're looking at lakes, not the large one, Lake Okeechobee, that shows on this map, but when you zoom in on any map around Orlando,
all the lakes,
all those lakes,
all of them,
those are all round little lakes. That mean they're sinkholes. Mm-hmm. And so they're now anticipating there's going to be a lot more of these happening in the next few years, because it's not an instant thing. It takes a little bit of time, and then bam, it happens all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, I remember back when I used to live in Lakeland, where all the damn lakes are.
Oh my! Yeah.
All of them, every single one, right in the middle of the state. It's actually between Tampa and Orlando there. It was like almost at least a monthly news story. Somebody's car got swallowed up by a sinkhole, or half their house got swallowed up by a sinkhole. And this was like in the 90s.
Yeah.
So and that was back when, because weather patterns have changed, that was back when you could set your watch by the rain in the summer. It doesn't really do that as much anymore.
Yep.
It just seems like it stays all up for like a couple of days and then but what's also interesting is right around, if you see like where Tampa is, and then there's like, if you go out west or east of Tampa, there's all that red. There are a lot of, and I don't know this is related. I don't know that this is related, but there are a lot of phosphorus mines in that area.
Yes.
So, I know that is related, but that's why you get a lot of lightning strikes, or at least that's what I was told. That could be total crap. I have no idea. I have nothing to verify.
I'm pretty sure that it's not related to lightning strikes, but the phosphorus mining is related to the karst region, because that's where you find it.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of weird looking lakes in that area too that are not sinkholes. They are just phosphorus mines.
Old mines.
With water.
Yep.
Gotta cover them up with water, because boom.
Actually,
it burns.
I was going to say, but speaking of boom, you're doing great on the segues today.
You're welcome. And I didn't even read crap. I didn't read nothing.
We're definitely getting an E rating for this one, right?
PG.
So this is an awesome video. You need to go click on the link and watch. because they blew up an Orion capsule. We only have 3 of these on the planet right now. And they took one of them and shattered it.
Well,
and blew it apart because they're testing it to make sure that it would survive the mistakes of reentry. So
is this first time they've done this?
No.
Good.
This is the first time this is the first full scale one, but this is the first. They've done all these previous testing and theory and all the other stuff, and they put this all together. You'll remember back earlier this a different company had some issues with their capsule getting it, so they're doing extra testing. I thought it was interesting that they even tested as much as, okay, our capsule is spinning out of control. It's basically on fire. Now let's hit it with lightning.
Hey, if it's coming down somewhere off the coast of Florida,
might very well be happening. It actually these actually come down off the coast on the Pacific.
Okay, it's steeper.
It is safer. We actually covered back years, 2 seasons ago. We covered that. We had a special guest on from NASA who's in charge of that whole retrieval mission.
So, obviously, this is not the same. Who made this? Is this Lockheed Martin? I think that makes Orion.
I do
because it's not Boeing.
It is not Boeing. I believe it is. I believe it is.
I want to say it's Lockheed.
I want to say it's Lockheed too.
It could totally be full of crap, but
yeah. But again, this place where they blew this thing up, they built it just for this thing.
They are learning from the mistakes of their.
It's a great thing. I'm very happy with that.
Because, they're shipping these, and I know they've pushed the manned mission back again.
Another year.
27, I think, is now the forecast.
Well,
but hey,
first we're going to get Artemis 2 out there, which is people in it and go around the moon and come back. Right. Then we can get to Artemis 3, which actually lands people on the moon.
Yeah, but,
we got a ways.
Who knows when that's going to happen? But I mean, at least they are taking seriously what happened with the Starliner.
Yep.
Because this is a very different situation.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, I don't know if in an emergency, if they would be able to dock with the International Space Station. But isn't that coming up on
yes, it can.
End of life?
Yeah, it is. I know. That's why they got to get this thing going, because they only got a certain amount of time. And yes, it can dock in there. I did want to point out this whole disaster dome thing that they break it up in. It's actually in Ohio. It's not in Florida. It's in Sandusky, Ohio.
Well, I mean, they don't usually do stuff like that here.
They put
that's going to be like Houston or whatever.
Pasadena, all sorts of places.
Ohio, I mean.
Ohio. We'll let it be with that.
But I saw that it's like at the Glen something or other, which makes sense that it's in Ohio because that's where he was from.
This is true.
Why do all the people from Ohio want to leave the planet? There
you go. That's a fun story. Somebody will go look up, because
true story.
Speaking of crashing, there we go. So we have 3 AI stories here to wrap up quickly, but we don't do wrap shows. We don't do clip shows. We don't do best of shows and everything. We happen to have a best of AI news story because they just ended it this week. So we scooped it all up in one story from our Technica. But the first one I wanted to cover was AI driving a race car around a track. And the best part about the story for me was once it's driving, it's fine. It can do about 87% of what a human can do, but they couldn't get it driving. So have you ever watched any Indy racing or F1 racing, anything like that? Open wheel cars?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you've seen these races, you've seen at the beginning, they're all lined up, 2 cars across, a deep line of cars going back. And as they go around the track, they get started and then they weave back and forth to warm up the tires, because You need warmer tires to be able to grip the asphalt so you can get your speed and keep your grip on the road.
Which people may not know that those tires are slicks. They do not have tread on them.
Yeah.
Not like our car tires. That's where they have to do
totally flat. Yeah. Well, it turns out AI couldn't figure out how to do that. And as it tried to figure out how it was going to start moving, it smashed into the wall.
I mean, that could have been anybody, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do. You look at it and you're like, oh, they're just driving a car around. Some of the F1 and IndyCar circuits, they're not like NASCAR circuits. They're not just. They're like actually
one big left turn. This is a whole big race.
No, this is like on terrain, going around sharp corners and over hills, and I mean not steep hills. We're not talking like Grand Prix style, but it is not easy.
No,
especially with slicks, especially with tires that don't grip like our tires do.
Have you watched any of the F1 races down in Miami? Because they have an F1 course built around Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins play. They
do it around downtown Miami too.
They used to, and they have moved up to Miami Springs. Sorry, local knowledge, guys.
It's probably less dangerous.
Very much less dangerous to go around the stadium parking lot.
There's somebody walking out in the middle of traffic. Just like they do in regular traffic here. Yep.
And so I included a bonus article in here about from The Conversation, which is a great website. If you haven't been following them, they get experts to basically ask questions and start to give you a way of starting a conversation about something. And one of their latest articles was about AI reaching human level and what does that actually mean?
Well, which humans are we talking about?
There you go. See? So the testing.
I mean, there's a wide range.
Yeah. The testing for this is a pretty immense thing. Most AI systems can only get about 55%, score about 55% on the test. The newest thing that came out from OpenAI called O3, and I'll get to that in just a second, managed to score 85% on the test, which is the same as humans can score on the test. Humans don't get 100% on it. The AI is only not getting 100% either yet. But one of the reasons why is because unlike these large language model stuff, this AI things that have stolen all the material online and tried to synthesize it and all those things, to be able to do these tests, it's called the ARC-AGI benchmark, ARC-AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. What it does is you get a very limited data set and you have to be able to figure out what's happening and solve the problem. So smart humans, 85% of the time can do it.
I don't like that. What's a smart human?
Well,
people's brains work in different ways, and just because my brain works differently, and I'm just sitting here looking at this going, no way. I would not even come close to 85%. And I'm relatively smart. But my brain doesn't work like that. I'm just like, nope, I don't think so. So
exactly. And that's one of their things is you're designing tests to fit the computer, not designing a test that humans do well on to see if the computer can handle that.
It's like IQ tests were designed for a specific group.
Gender and race. Exactly. Yep.
That some people, even though they may be brilliant, are not going to score well on it because that's not how their brains work. So,
and you need that, and some of those things you need that cultural reference to understand. And so those are all things.
Fish climbing a tree situation.
Yes. Do you want to explain that to people who don't know what that means?
Was it Einstein? I think it was. I don't remember who it was. And essentially, it's you have this test, and it's a test to determine how smart everybody is. It's equal across the board, but it can't be, because if you give the test to I can't remember exactly how it goes.
If you give the test to a human, they can climb the tree just fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you give the test to a fish, well, they're not so smart.
And let's be honest. I mean, even though they're technically not fish, dolphins are smarter than we are.
Yeah, there we go.
They're smarter than most of us.
I'm not afraid to doubt that one at all. So our final link in here today is the 12 days of OpenAI, 12 days of AI-ness. However, OpenAI took 12 days and each day revealed a new product. In general, what we learned from these 12, I'm not going to bore people with going over all 12 of these little pieces. What we learned is, we now know how they're going to try and make money, is because most of this stuff is locked up behind a paywall. So you're not going to be able to just go out here and use these things. You may have seen some very exciting people talking about, like on day 3, earlier this month, they released Sora, which is their type in stuff. Just type in a text prompt. It will create video for you based on your text prompt. Sounds very cool. Sounds interesting. It only is in preview to certain special people who are already paying and already doing, and it only lasts for like 15 seconds, and you can't tack 2 15-second clips together to make a 30-second. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, okay. Which is kind of the point of that conversation article that we talked about. Yeah, you're not judging these things based on real world circumstances. You're the company trying to sell it, and you're making up new stuff.
Right. It's just like, oh, look what we can do.
Yeah.
But not for very long.
Yeah. And only with certain people and only under very controlled circumstances.
Yeah, okay.
Which, by the way, I did not take a screenshot, but I did confirm it ahead of time. If anybody was testing the meme out yesterday, if you went into Google's AI that answers things automatically, if you asked it, is today Christmas? It would say, no, Christmas is December 25th, even though you were asking it on December 25th, because it wasn't smart enough to go double check the date.
When they first rolled it out, there were some really horrible things going on with recipes and stuff. It was amazing.
Exactly.
I loved it.
So there's some other things you can do with it. There's some interesting topics. And basically, the summary of what we learned is they're investing a lot to try and make this a thing that people will use, and they haven't figured out how to do that yet, other than people who just want to use it because it's cool.
Yeah, they're trying to force the singularity moment, and it's not there yet.
No.
But it will come upon us, and it'll smack us all in the head, but not yet.
No, I think we got a ways off. Because if the AI gets that smart, why would it let us know? Why would when you're a teenager, did you tell people how cool and how many things you could do so that they could make you do more?
I don't even do that now.
Right. Exactly. So why is AI, if it's that smart, going to be like, oh wait, let me do more for you? Come on now. It's not. If
it is smart like people, it will know better.
It will know better. Exactly.
If it isn't, then it deserves everything it gets.
Which means it's not that smart.
Exactly.
There we go. So, so in the chat, somebody did put our thing in. Thank you very much for that. Everybody's a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for that one.
Awesome.
And thank you, Miss Autumn, for being here.
You're welcome.
And wrapping up season 4, a crazy number of shows we've done this year. And guess what? You and I are going to do this all again next Thursday to start off season 5 with a new twist theme idea, and we'll explain that next week.
We'll figure it out. It'll be great.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you let us know. creationstation@broward.org. If you've got questions, ideas, thoughts for us, let us know. And everybody have a great new year. See you
so
next
long, and thanks for all the fish.